My name is Alicia Strain, and this is my final presentation for ICM 522. My blog's name was burrowicecream.wordpress.com. My handle was at burrowicecream, and my hashtag was NYC ice cream. What I did was I explored New York City's interest in ice cream via social media. I started a campaign wondering when I first started, I wanted to know who the leaders and innovators were in the ice cream food community in New York City, why people were interested, where they were going, how they were interacting with vendors and stuff like that. So here we go. What I learned was a lot of different interesting things. Most of the innovators and leaders of the communities were already established restaurants or food vendors, so they seemed to have the most followers. Also, chefs had a big presence, and there also, for the most part, it was food bloggers who covered a lot of different ground. It was people who were not only interested in ice cream or different types of ice cream, but different types of food. So, Italian, Chinese, Japanese, pizza, things that were native to New York, but also some of the things that were interesting just in general. So I just listed a couple of them here. Hangry Bitches is one of the leader Instagram of New York City. It's two women who both use this account, and as you can see, they have 80,000 followers. They post at least 1 to 2 different photos every day of different things that they are eating. Tag what it is, or where they got it from, and what it is. Food Truck Association was another high one. This is where you can find information about New York's food trucks, which is not as popular as it is in other cities, say in Portland or San Francisco, but it's definitely a growing market here in New York. And then I have Infatuation New York, which is a review blogger, and uses various different social medias, not just for New York though, but they're also, as you can see, Chicago, Denver, and San Francisco. So they have a lot of followers, but not just for this one city. But all of these people have in common is that they talk a lot about they range from every different kind of food and flavor. And one of the big things is that when they hashtag things, not only do they use just pizza or Italian, they do hashtag pizza, hashtag pepperoni pizza, hashtag food, hashtag flea markets, hashtag food trucks, hashtag NYC food trucks. And like I said, they tag their locations a lot so you know where they've been. As you can see, the hashtag NYC food is sort of a big one. On Instagram, you have 61,000 posts alone. When you look on Twitter, people just kind of throw it in no matter what they're talking about. This is one person who, over here, who says just dreamy mornings in NYC. And, I'm sure she has posted a picture on Instagram of whatever she's eating, but you don't really know from her, her tweet what actually she's talking about. Whereas these other ones sort of actually talk about why they're talking about New York City food. So it's a little bit interesting. And as you can see, NYC food kind of leads you into all these different categories. So clearly the community already exists, and people are trying to find where they can fit in within it, which is what I found to be the most interesting thing, is that as broad as you think just a New York City foodie would be, there's a lot of different ways you can find a niche community within it. So for the ice cream community, which I actually did not find too many leaders who were just specific to ice cream, I actually didn't really find any. So that's when I sort of realized that unless you're talking about a lot of different food areas, people aren't really paying attention to you. So what I did find though was that the major artisan and niche brands of ice cream, they're the ones who garnered a lot of interest. 60,000, 70,000 different followers. But these are the people who are actually serving ice cream. So Big A Ice Cream, it's actually run by 2 different men, and they talk a lot about their own personal lives, their dogs, what's going on in the store, stuff like that. So they actually really personalized their account and made themselves available, sort of, or made them seem like they were real people. Whereas Brooklyn Pharmacy, they really just posted pictures of their food. Same with Momofuku Milk Bar. Alchemy Creamery actually, that was another. These are the two most personalized accounts. These are Alchemy Creamery was started by two guys who were looking for gluten-free and vegan ice cream, and they really made a splash at a thing called Smorgasburg, which is a flea market in Brooklyn held year-round, indoor and outdoor. But they really try to connect with their followers. If you tweet at them or respond to them or tag them, they will immediately sort of retweet it, favorite it, talk to you back. And I met them actually at Smorgasburg, and they were just like, make sure you tag us. We love to, we're small business, and we're really, really trying to get our name out there. Whereas, Milk Bar has a little bit more of a presence, so they kind of just, they can sort of ride on their own kind of pictures and what they're working on. The goals of my community were just to create, in general, a community that wants to talk about ice cream, then specifically to New York City. That seems like it could be very specific, but when you have 8 million people living in 5 boroughs, it's, a pretty large community. Especially when a lot of these different communities have their own native flavors or ethnic flavors, different ices, different kind of creams, different ways they mix things together. People use different syrups. Some people like fudge, others like honey. So there's a lot of, and with sort of these different, groups of people, they're all sometimes located in very specific and certain neighborhoods. So sometimes you can walk 5 blocks and all you'll find is Italian ices. You walk another 10 blocks and all you can find is soft serve. So it's very interesting, if you wanted to learn specifically where you're moving in Manhattan, say in Chelsea, if they only have certain things or they have a lot of one thing, you can communicate with this community and they can talk to you where are the best places to go for that specific thing. Also, I thought pricing was very interesting. Some of these places I went and got a cone for $8, and in other places I went and it was $2.50. Same size, same sort of flavors, but it was all varied upon the ingredients that were used, how long it took to make things, how fresh they were. And that's, I think, also another interesting topic that a community as a whole can talk about. My personal campaign was a little bit more, I wanted to focus on more niche things. So places that use farm-to-table ice cream ingredients. That means if they use stuff from upstate New York as like a farm, dairy, even their toppings, syrups, fruit. They had good sundaes, something unique, different ingredients and toppings on top of them. If they were vegan, if I could go there and be allergic to dairy, or if I was gluten-free, I could get a sundae and not have to worry. Organic is very similar to farm to table, but it's a little bit broader in its topics. And artisan is probably a mix of farm to table, good sundaes, vegan, and organic all kind of mixed together. And that's sort of maybe flavors that are really, really, really unique, such as like black sesame or wasabi, or if you have nutmeg on a birthday cake waffle cone, stuff that really kind of pushes the boundaries of normal ice cream flavors. So I kind of went in knowing that Instagram would be my best bet, just because Instagram is really a community that foodies really thrive in. People want to see pictures of what you're eating. You can, tag it pretty easily and people can find it. Borough ice cream really worked out well, but I think people searched for New York City ice cream and sundaes even more so. This is the picture that I got sort of the most response from. It was retagged and regrammed by other people. So I kind of immediately, when I thought about ice cream, was like, how am I going to, A, make myself a bigger part of this community? And I did that by using NYC ice cream. And then I wanted to create a hashtag that was uniquely me. So if I gained some sort of following or people started to like my pictures, they knew they could find my hashtag pretty easily. And then I wanted to not only join this bigger ice cream community, or an ice cream community if it existed, I wanted to join ones that were even larger. So Manhattan and ice cream. This one I was in Brooklyn when I was eating it, but I knew if I hashtag Manhattan, I'm opening myself up to a whole variety of interests. Same with ice cream. Ice cream could be from all over the country, and realistically, Manhattan could be from all over the world. And then as I was moving forward, I started to incorporate a couple of different ones, such as artisan and artisan ice cream. And those I sort of gained a little bit more attention from different people. I got a couple more foodies who were interested, people who just were small business owners in Brooklyn who were artisans of different trades and stuff like that. Twitter, I was surprised with the reception I got. I didn't get too I thought I would have gotten more using hashtags, but what I really got attention from was the places that I ate at and then tagged them in. I realized that it's very easy to favorite a tweet, so that's all they really had to do is just favorite a tweet, which doesn't really gain me too much reception, but it it does gain a little bit of a notification base and stuff like that. And it gains me a little recognition from them as somebody who might be taking pictures and eating at their establishments a lot. I'm going back to that actually, once they sort of notice you, and if I sort of tweeted at them, took a picture, and said review on the blog, it might have led me more traction if I did more reviewing, because then they're going to be like, if she's negatively reviewing, are people pay attention to this review and stuff like that. So that would be a tactic I would use going forward. WordPress, I actually got a few, but I think it was mostly based on my tags. It was, communities that were interested in some of the things I posted with specific names. You can see here, it's Cooking Without Limits, almost for NYC. So I think the interest in Manhattan and food communities is what really got me a lot of attention. Facebook, I got almost no attention, but I actually also went in knowing I wasn't going to get a ton of, or didn't think I was going to get a ton of attention from Facebook. I think people in a food community, I think people go to Instagram, Twitter first, and then possibly your blog third, because I think they look at your pictures and see where you're eating kind of very easily before they give you a lot of attention. I don't think people go to Facebook for food related stuff unless you're a restaurant and they're actually interested to see if you're open certain hours, if you're having events, if you're having any specials. I think for community leaders on Facebook, that's not really people, it's not the first place they're going to go look. Facebook would have just been a means, or it was a means for people to maybe see a picture or two and then link back to my blog. And I really believe that Instagram, seeing the picture and then linking back to my blog, or seeing 140 characters in my Twitter account, then linking back to my blog, is where I would really gain the most attention, and which I did. This is my Facebook page, and as you can see, it's one like, no really notifications. So, and it's a little bit confusing. You don't really know what this is or why this page is up and why it exists just from here. You can go to my about and see my blog and stuff like that, but it's not something that would really capture your attention. I think unless I was a business and really trying to capture engagement and letting people know how to reach me and how to contact me and easy questions, this just wouldn't be my first choice as a food blogger. Moving forward, to continue working within my community or making my presence known, I would want to emphasis on sit down, eat in places for the winter, where to go to if get out of the cold and have your beverage so you don't have to walk around with a cone. Places that also might serve coffee or hot chocolate, because you might want a warm thing to keep, that chill out a little bit. Other interesting things like sundaes, shakes, and cream drinks, because that might be a little bit more of a drawer than holding a cone, which might be cold in the wintertime. And the sundaes would go hand in hand with the sit-down eatery. And then I would want to really focus on the spring and summer season to come. I want to see where the food trucks are going to be, where the food flea markets are, ice pops, ices, and paletas. I would really want to, go hard on the new things that are coming, new stores are opening. And then if I was trying to make my presence more known in my community, I would really try to expand the topics I talked about outside of ice cream. I would probably try to follow, talk to more of the prominent members, get my name out there a little bit more. And then I would expand to try to make myself more of an innovator after that. So I would want to establish some sort of respect among prominent community members and businesses that would want to trust what I'm saying about them and want to see how I'm reviewing them. And then I would try to move forward with it. And there's clear interest in this. People want to know where they can go locally or when they visit the city. In order to gain some traction in the foodie world, you really have to be in the foodie world and talking to people and understand their process and why people respect what they're talking about. And I kind of have more of an understanding of that now. And then I would think after a couple months or even a year, then I would try for a specific campaign. And this is the photo that got me the most attention from Brooklyn Pharmacy. It's the Cookie Monster. All right, thank you very much. Have a nice night.